The tall tree. Once upon a time, in a green and sunny meadow, stood a very tall tree. It was the tallest tree in the whole meadow. Its branches reached high into the sky, and its leaves rustled in the gentle breeze. This tree, everyone called it the tall tree, was very old and very wise. Many animals lived in the meadow. There was a playful rabbit named Pip, a clever fox named Finley, a busy squirrel named Nutsy, and a grumpy badger named Barnaby. They all knew the tall tree. They often played under its shade, and sometimes they even climbed its sturdy branches. Pip, the rabbit, loved to nibble on the sweet clover that grew at the tall tree's base. He would hop around, his nose twitching, always happy to find a fresh patch. Finley, the fox, was a little more cautious. He preferred to watch from a distance, his sharp eyes scanning for anything interesting. Nutsy, the squirrel, was the busiest of them all. He spent his days collecting acorns and hiding them in the tall tree's branches. Barnaby, the badger, was usually grumpy, but even he couldn't deny the comfort of the tall tree's shade on a hot summer day. One day, a terrible storm came. The wind howled, and the rain poured down. The animals huddled together, seeking shelter. Pip trembled under a bush, Finley found a small cave, Nutsy clung to a branch high in the tall tree, and Barnaby burrowed deep into his hole. The storm raged for hours. The animals were scared. When the storm finally passed, the sun peeked through the clouds. The meadow was a mess. Trees were uprooted, branches were scattered everywhere, and the river was overflowing. The animals emerged from their hiding places, shocked by the devastation. Pip looked around, his eyes wide with fear. He couldn't find any clover. Finley looked worried, his usual cunning replaced by anxiety. Nutsy, thankfully, was still clinging to a branch, but many of his acorns had been washed away. Barnaby emerged from his burrow, grumbling about the mud. They all looked towards the tall tree. They expected to see it broken, maybe even fallen. But the tall tree stood tall, strong, and proud. Its branches were swaying gently in the post-storm breeze, but it was unharmed. The animals gathered around the tall tree, their hearts full of relief. Pip hopped closer, nibbling on a few remaining clover leaves. Finley sat down, observing the damage to the meadow. Nutsy scampered down, checking on his remaining acorns. Barnaby, for once, didn't grumble. He simply sat in the shade, feeling grateful. The tall tree seemed to understand their feelings. Its leaves rustled softly, as if whispering words of comfort. Pip felt brave again. Finley felt hope. Nutsy felt secure. Even Barnaby felt a little less grumpy. Days turned into weeks, and the meadow slowly began to heal. The animals worked together, helping each other rebuild their homes and find food. Pip helped Finley search for berries. Finley helped Nutsy gather more acorns. Nutsy helped Barnaby repair his burrow. Barnaby, surprisingly, even shared some of his delicious honey with Pip. The tall tree watched them all, its branches providing shade and shelter. It became a symbol of hope and strength for the meadow's inhabitants. They learned the importance of friendship, cooperation, and resilience, all thanks to the wisdom of the tall tree. One sunny afternoon, a young rabbit, Pip's son, approached the tall tree. He was scared of a nearby hawk. The tall tree's branches swayed gently, offering him a safe place to hide. The little rabbit felt safe and protected under the large branches. Over the years, many more animals came to live in the meadow, and the tall tree continued to watch over them all. It provided shade, shelter, and a sense of security. It became a landmark, a symbol of the meadow itself. Its branches became home to countless birds, its trunk a haven for insects, and its roots a source of nourishment for the soil. One day, a group of children came to visit the meadow. They were amazed by the tall tree's size and beauty. They sat under its branches, listening to the stories the older animals told about the great storm and how the tall tree had saved them. The children learned about the importance of nature, the power of friendship, and the resilience of life. As the years passed, the tall tree grew older. Its bark became rougher, its branches heavier, but its spirit remained strong. It witnessed generations of animals grow up, fall in love, and raise their families under its protective shade. It saw the seasons change countless times, from the vibrant greens of spring to the fiery reds and golds of autumn. The tall tree became a living legend, a testament to the enduring power of nature. Its story was passed down from generation to generation, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, hope and resilience can always prevail. The animals continued to gather under its branches, sharing stories, playing games, and celebrating life. The tall tree, the tallest tree in the meadow, was their home, their protector, and their friend. One particularly cold winter, a heavy snowfall covered the meadow. The animals worried about the tall tree. They feared that the weight of the snow would break its strong branches. But the tall tree stood firm, its branches bowed slightly under the weight, but unbroken. The next morning, the sun shone brightly, melting the snow. The tall tree stood tall and majestic, its branches covered in sparkling frost. The animals emerged from their shelters, overjoyed to see their beloved friend still standing. They gathered around the tall tree, feeling gratitude and a renewed sense of security. The tall tree continued to stand, a silent sentinel, watching over the meadow for many more years. Its story remained a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring strength of nature and the power of community. Even when it finally fell, its legacy lived on in the hearts of the animals who had lived under its shade, and in the stories they told their children and grandchildren. The spirit of the tall tree lived on, a symbol of resilience, friendship, and the enduring power of nature. The seeds from the tall tree scattered across the meadow, sprouting new saplings. These saplings grew tall and strong, inheriting the legacy of their parent tree. And so, the story of the tall tree continued, a reminder that even in the face of change and the passage of time, the spirit of nature endures. The meadow flourished, and the legacy of the tall tree lived on, ensuring that the generations to come would always remember the wise, old, and wonderfully tall tree. The end.